Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today quote is success and failure are both part of life and both are not permanent. So let's start our topic. So far we have implemented two threads and in a synchronized way. Okay, now there are multiple ways to create a thread. One thing we have seen which is of by extends the thread, but we have more options. But when I'm saying that we have more option, the first question in my mind is why we need more options. So okay, now think about this. Let's say this class A want to extend some other class. Let me implement another class. Let's say class ABC. So this A want to extend from ABC also. Yeah. As you have seen, it's showing some error, and I want ABC to be a parent class. I want this to be a parent class, and I want class A to be a child class. Correct? Cool. So I want basically make this A as a thread, as well as I want to make this as a subclass of ABC. And we all know the multiple inheritance in Java is not possible. So how do we solve this problem? So the idea of extending a thread is I'm doing this is not actually a good idea. So let me remove this and consider it as it is. I'm extending from thread class, and this is not good because I'm not able to extend from another parent class. So if you observe, thread is a class. So when I click on it, it implements from a runnable. So and if you go to runnable, you can see you have a method called run. So now this is important. So if you remember in the code which we have written, which we have went with the class name or we have went with a method name called run right here, this run. So when I implement from runnable class, it will be perfectly fine because we have a run method also. And similarly I have implement from this runnable. I think I am doing somewhere class B, but it's implement why it's showing this. Oh, typo. Yeah, that's fine. So I will simply implement it with the help of an interface called runnable, both in this side. Now by doing this, how can you work with this? Because then it's showing some error in start. Before fixing the error of start, I would like to do some changes. Let's say it to 8 or 9 something. Let's say 8 or maybe 7. This is also 7. It's showing the method start is undefined for the type A because thread class has a method called start, not runnable has a method called start. So for this purpose, if we have a runnable class, so A is actually a runnable class also. A also have to be runnable so that we can use it in a way that we enhance the inheritance from the parent class. So suppose I'm just creating a thread. No, I'm in that way I created two threads, and instead of using object1 I am simply saying this is t1 and this is t2, and now the error everything is looking fine. So now let's try it. First compile and then run it. Oh, nothing output. Why? Because you are implementing two threads, but the start not knowing which thread or which object the start have to perform, which we have to start in simple way. So for doing this you have to make it this also runnable. Now what is object1 is doing, it implement the interface of runnable and using the object of a class. In the same way object2, it is interface of runnable but at the same time the object of b class. And I have to pass it here also. Why? Because this is the thread and there is also a constructor in thread which take a runnable object. So we have make this as runnable, so I've just pass it here, the two objects, and now I think everything looks fine, and let's compile and run it. First we compile and then run. Yeah, perfect. Tony, then some stars, then Tony, then star. So in that way we have to implement. Let's say I decrease the iteration to 5 so that only one Tony then star, because I mentioned earlier in the videos that you have to suggest a thread, a scheduler to perform a thread in that way. So it's all up to the scheduler how he use the which algorithm he use behind the compiler, so it's not controllable. So I'm just suggesting to 5 iteration, then again trying it. Run it. Yeah, Tony star, then this is alternate. Yeah, perfectly, both are running simultaneously parallelly. I think that is for the today video, and if you have anything doubt just comment below. That's the time guys, thank you.